Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to conservation and careful management of the state's forests to make them more resilient and better habitats for wildlife. ChooseWood.com.
It's Thursday, January 12th. This is The Gateway. I'm Wayne Pratt. Missouri Congressman Jason Smith is the new chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, making the Republican from Salem one of the most powerful members of Congress.
Even though people said I couldn't do it, I knew setting out a plan and working hard and just placing one brick after another, it could pay off. And that's just how I've always done anything.
Coming up, St. Louis Public Radio's Jason Rosenbaum delves into what Smith's rise through Congress means for the state. Planned Parenthood officials in southern Illinois are cheering a bill protecting providers and patients from legal action by other states. St. Louis Public Radio's Sarah Fenton reports Illinois lawmakers approved the bill, which Governor J.B. Pritzker is expected to sign.
Illinois officials have increased protections for abortion following the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Surrounding states have banned the procedure. The legislation bars legal action against healthcare workers or pregnant people for the wrongful death of a fetus caused by an abortion where abortion is legal. Planned Parenthood workers in Fairview Heights say they're grateful for the protection. Dr. Colleen McNicholas is Planned Parenthood of the St. Louis region's chief medical officer.
People accessing legal abortion in Illinois, whether they're coming from Missouri or another banned state, they don't have to worry about their private medical information being weaponized.
The Fairview Heights Clinic has seen a more than 300% increase in patients from outside Missouri and Illinois since the High Court's decision. I'm Sarah Fenton, St. Louis Public Radio.
Party leadership is set for the new session of the Illinois legislature. The new Republican House leader is challenging Democrats to be more cooperative. Tony McCombie was selected yesterday to lead her caucus in Springfield.
Let us show you that any preconceived notions about Republicans is false. We want to govern.
She says a Republican represents at least a portion of every Illinois county, and they deserve a voice.
We are problem solvers, so use our knowledge, benefit from our talents, and hear our hearts.
Democrat Chris Welch will remain Illinois House Speaker. In the state Senate, Democrat Don Harmon will continue as that chamber's president. Republican John Curran will serve as its minority leader. Missouri Governor Mike Parson wants to give state employees a raise by the end of the fiscal year, which is in June. Parson is calling for a cost of living adjustment of roughly 8.5% for all state employees, plus an additional $2 per hour for workers who are on evening and overnight shifts. That includes staff within the departments of Social Services, Corrections, Mental Health, and the Missouri Veterans Commission. Parsons says it's an attempt to remain competitive in the job market. The recommendations will be included in a proposed supplemental budget, and they must gain legislative approval. The new raises would build on the 7.5% increases passed last year. House Minority Leader Crystal Quaid says this plan does not go far enough. Two members of Missouri's congressional delegation are calling on the Army Corps of Engineers to carry out radioactive testing at all Hazelwood School District properties. Congresswoman Cori Bush and Senator Josh Hawley have sent a letter to the Corps' Lieutenant General saying all necessary steps need to be taken as soon as possible to, quote, ensure the safety of the school's properties. The request comes after last year's testing by a private company found traces of radioactivity at Jana Elementary School. The school was deemed safe after follow-up testing by the Corps and a local engineering firm. Jana Elementary is near Coldwater Creek, which was contaminated with radioactive waste as part of the Manhattan Project in the 40s and 50s. The mother of slain teen Trayvon Martin says the criminal justice system is not fair for black people. Sabrina Fulton spoke yesterday at a Martin Luther King Jr. tribute at St. Louis University. As St. Louis Public Radio's Andrea Henderson reports, she is urging St. Louisans to help bring justice to black families.
Fulton's 17-year-old son, Trayvon Martin, was killed 10 years ago by a white man in Florida. A jury found George Zimmerman not guilty of second-degree murder. At SLU, Fulton spoke with Michael McMillan, president of the Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis. She agreed that her son is now an important symbol. Fulton urged St. Louisans to help ensure black families receive justice by voting in local elections and participating in jury trials.
We need you in jury duty. If some of you guys probably would have been there, the person who shot and killed Trayvon would have been in jail.
Fulton also wants people to donate to local nonprofits that empower Black people. I'm Andrea Henderson, St. Louis Public Radio.
Congressman Jason Smith is the new chair of the House Ways and Means Committee. The Republican from Salem is now one of the most powerful members of Congress. With enormous influence over taxation and trade legislation, Smith is promising to make an impact on critical public policy, even in a divided government. St. Louis Public Radio's Jason Rosenbaum reports.
Jason Smith is used to being underestimated. He was the underdog when he first ran for the Missouri House in the mid-2000s. Few people gave him much of a chance to win the GOP nomination for the 8th Congressional District. And as Smith explained earlier this week, national pundits expected Florida Congressman Vern Buchanan to nab the powerful Ways and Means Committee chairmanship.
Even though people said I couldn't do it, I knew setting out a plan and working hard and just placing one brick after another, it could pay off. And that's just how I've always done anything.
Now that he's Ways and Means Committee chairman, Smith will have a huge say over taxation and trade policy. One of the ways he campaigned for the post was stressing his roots growing up in Dent County. He noted that unlike many other members of Congress, he understands what it's like to struggle economically.
The first time I'd ever had running water was whenever I graduated law school and I drilled the well. And when I bought that farm during law school, I burnt down the outhouse because I had such bad memories as a kid. But, I grew up most of my life living in a single wide trailer, and then we upgraded to a double wide. So truly a product of the working class.
With Senator Roy Blunt now retired, a big unanswered question is if someone would fill the void in terms of getting money for the state. While noting he's not trying to emulate Missouri's previously powerful federal lawmakers, Smith added he is motivated to help his district, which is one of the poorest in the country.
I'm not going to be Kit Bond or Roy Blunt. I'm going to be Jason Smith. But my number one desire is to serve the good people who represented me in Southeast Missouri and to make sure we take care of that area and then serve the state of Missouri. The opportunity that I have to lead this committee, which is one of the most important committees in all of Congress, is very rare.
Some of Smith's goals as chairman include redefining America's trading relationship with China and smoothing out supply chains that were wrecked during the COVID-19 pandemic. Smith also stressed his support for a work requirement to receive the child tax credit, contending that not having one provides a disincentive for people to enter the workforce.
And so that is my biggest problem with that change in the American Rescue Plan. Can Republicans and Democrats get together on this? I said this to the committee just a few weeks ago, that I do think we can find common ground in some different areas, and this may be one of them.
Smith panned the Democratic decision to release former Republican President Donald Trump's tax returns. He contends it sets a bad precedent for the future.
And that is a significant issue, and it's absolutely uncharted territory.
Whether or not Smith is able to accomplish a huge amount over the next 2 years is unclear. Republicans do not control the Senate or the White House and have a small majority in the U.S. House. Any sweeping changes to the tax code or trade policy will need buy-in from both parties. Smith, though, says he's confident he'll be able to make an impact, mainly because the Ways and Means Committee is so vital to the legislative process.
If we can find common ground that delivers for working class Americans, I can get behind that. And this conference can as well. I've already started engaging with a lot of Republican and Democrat senators because in order for anything of that jurisdiction that they care about has to move through our committee over here. So we'll figure out some stuff. And I think that we can accomplish a lot of things for our country.
Smith is the second Missourian to hold the Ways and Means Committee chairmanship. He noted the first person was John Phelps in the 1800s. Phelps County, which is in Smith's district, is named after him. I'm Jason Rosenbaum, St. Louis Public Radio.
Our Fred Ehrlich edited that report. Before wrapping up, Jeff Beck has died. Many in the music industry consider him one of the best guitarists of all time. That's from his cover of the Curtis Mayfield classic People Get Ready. Rod Stewart handles the vocals on that recording. Stewart posted on Twitter yesterday, quote, "Jeff, you were the greatest, my man." The two were part of the Jeff Beck group early in their careers. The guitarist won 8 Grammys and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992 as part of the Yardbirds and again in 2009 as a solo artist. Jeff Beck was 78. The Gateway is a production of St. Louis Public Radio, a listener-supported service of the University of Missouri-St. Louis. Our theme music is by Ryan McNeely of Adult Fur. I'm Wayne Pratt.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association. Missouri produces wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details on the variety of products made in the state are at choosewood.com.